Nestled deep in the heart of Sri Lanka's dense jungle lies one of the country's most mysterious hidden secrets. A cave that, according to local legend, has ties to cannibalism. This is where Josh the intern, a passionate adventurer and YouTuber, set out on a mission to uncover the truth behind the cave and its chilling past. Known for his fearless explorations, Josh's channel, Josh the Intern, shares his journey to remote and often dangerous places others wouldn't dare venture. He spent countless hours documenting eerie locations, each more unsettling than the last. But this particular adventure would challenge his instincts in ways he never expected. The cave, believed to be over 32,000 years old, is said to hold human remains from a time long past. It is the oldest prehistoric site in Sri Lanka, with evidence that humans once roamed this land, using the cave as shelter. But what sets this place apart from other historical sites is its dark history. Archaeologists suggest that the cave may have been the site of cannibalistic rituals, a horrifying chapter in Sri Lanka's past that still lingers in the air like a heavy fog. Josh set out on his journey to find the cave, determined to uncover whatever secrets it might hold. But what began as a hike through Sri Lanka's stunning terrain quickly took a turn into the unknown.
All right, everyone, we are at the start of the trail, heading towards this secret cave. And now I will say this is not technically the start of a hiking trail. This is, would you believe it, a road. Now, I've been driving around in a tuk-tuk. That's how I'm getting to the hiking spots. And I tried doing this road via tuk-tuk, and I was bumping all over the place. And it was just a no-go for me. Case. Look at this. Look at this road. Why wasn't this there at the start? It's just all of a sudden become the most amazing road ever created. Oh my goodness, I gotta save myself a lot of time. More of a workout, I suppose. Hello, cutie pie. Wow, look at this road. This is super scenic. I still can't get over how stunning the nature is in Sri Lanka. It is an incredibly beautiful country. It's also incredibly hot.
As Josh ventured deeper into the mountains, the challenges began. The journey had already taken longer than expected, and with daylight fading fast, time was running out. He tried to make the most of the situation, trekking up the mountain, hoping to find some sort of trail leading him to the cave. But what he didn't expect was the strange encounter he would soon have with two men who appeared out of nowhere.
Oh, I hear people.
Not long after stepping onto the path, two men appeared from the trees and began to follow me. They didn't speak to me, just matched my pace, stopping if I stopped and walking when I walked. I thought it was a bit weird, but didn't think much of it, so continued on the short hike up to the cave.
Here we go. Here is the cave.
But then things got stranger. Off camera, one of the men asked me to follow him, saying he wanted to show me something. I refused multiple times, but he didn't take no for an answer. And during this time, the other man stayed behind me. Feeling uneasy, I started recording.
I've been joined by some friends. They're showing me around. Very cool.
I thought it was a bit strange that as soon as I began filming, they moved out of the shot. But I tried to ignore them and stayed focused on filming the cave I'd worked so hard to reach. Yet every time I lowered the camera, they would tell me to follow them as they wanted to show me something. At this point, I did feel quite uncomfortable.
Josh, fully aware of how unpredictable his travels could be, didn't immediately feel alarmed, though something didn't sit right. It was odd, unsettling, but not yet enough to set off any real alarms. After all, he was in a foreign land, and it was possible they were just curious locals.
I think these guys want to show me something. All right, we going this way?
But when I finally saw what they wanted to show me, everything changed.
Wow.
It was an abandoned house, and they wanted me to go in first.
Okay, I'll follow you. I'll follow you. After you.
As the men moved closer, Josh could feel his unease growing. Something wasn't right, and the air seemed to grow thicker with each passing moment. Josh continued filming as he tried to stay calm and collected. However, when he glanced behind him, he realized one of the men had moved behind him, following him even closer now. At that moment, Josh's gut told him to leave, and he didn't hesitate. He pretended to take another shot of the scenery, then made his move, slowly trying to get toward the entrance.
I'm just gonna get one more shot, okay? One more shot. Oh, sorry, I just shooting, filming, and doing more. And then I'll come, okay?
I stayed calm, acted like I wasn't suspicious, and slowly walked back towards the entrance. But it seemed like they didn't want me to leave.
I'll come soon. I just want to shoot this. But you go, I'll stay. And then I come later. I'm just filming everything. Okay? Okay.
So I pretended to take the shot, and when I saw they were distracted, I made my move.
The tension reached its peak as he heard the footsteps coming after him. His heart raced and adrenaline coursed through his veins. It was time to go, and go quickly. He started running, not stopping until he reached safety. The entire time, he couldn't shake the feeling that the situation could have turned far darker had he stayed any longer. The encounter left Josh shaken, but he knew he had made the right decision. In his video, he explained his reasoning, emphasizing that he trusted his instincts, and though the men could have been friendly, the situation didn't feel right. He'd rather be safe than sorry. The cave, with its rich history and dark secrets, would remain undiscovered for now. Josh ended the adventure, not with the usual sense of awe, but with a reminder about the importance of trusting one's instincts, especially when exploring places that are as unpredictable as the wilderness itself. Josh reflected on the lessons learned from this unexpected experience. Not all adventures lead to answers. Some simply serve as a reminder that, in places as wild as this, sometimes survival itself is the only victory. Yet Sri Lanka isn't the only place where legends and danger intertwine. Across the world, in the remote corners of Serbia, another story has endured, one that blurs the line between folklore and nightmare. Hey, creepy community, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm giving away $1,000 in cash to the ultimate creepy superfan. So, how can you enter? It's simple. Step 1. Subscribe to all 3 of my new channels, Horror Vids, Scary Vids, and Dark Vids. Step 2. Like the very first video on each channel. Step 3. Leave a creepy comment under every video I upload in the next 2 weeks. On the 8th of September, I'll choose one winner who's been the most active, the most supportive, and who's dropped the creepiest, most original comments. Want to win $1,000? Then leave your mark. Everywhere. Let's make it creepy. Let's make it legendary. In the heart of Serbia, amidst the vast, rugged landscapes and steeped in centuries of tradition, there lies a chilling story that has haunted the whispers of locals for decades. It's a tale that brings both fascination and fear, known by many, but fully understood by few. This is the story of the Serbian dance lady, a mysterious figure whose legend has endured, shrouded in darkness and unanswered questions. The tale begins in the remote, rural areas of Serbia, where folk music and traditional dance are deeply rooted in the fabric of the culture. Many families have passed down these customs for generations, performing them under the warm glow of the hearth or in the bright moonlight of summer nights. But among the many stories of folklore, there's one that stands apart. It speaks of a lady, an ethereal woman who danced alone in the wilderness, but with a rhythm and grace so haunting that it left even the bravest men quaking in their boots.
Vai começar.
This woman, known only as the Serbian Dance Lady, is said to appear in the most unexpected of places, usually during the night. Stories tell of her moving silently through streets, forests, or fields, dancing with an eerie, hypnotic elegance. She wears a traditional Serbian dress, often in deep reds and earthy tones, her long hair flowing freely as she twirls in a trance-like state, seemingly unaware of the world around her. But it's not her beauty that captures the attention of those who encounter her. It's the unexplainable energy that surrounds her. Some say the air grows colder when she dances, while others claim that strange whispers fill the silence, as if the very earth hums along with her movements. The more people watch, the more they feel a strange pull, as if they too are being drawn into her dance. A dance that seems to transcend time itself. Some have even claimed that once you hear her dance, you can never forget the haunting melody that echoes long after she's gone. But there's a darker side to the legend, one that's kept whispered among the elders and rarely spoken aloud. It's said that if you approach her, or worse, try to join her, there's a price to pay. Many have reported hearing an eerie voice in the wind, beckoning them to come closer, to dance with her. Those who have followed that call rarely return. Some say the Serbian dance lady seems to exist in a realm beyond the physical, slipping through time and space like a ghost, leaving only whispers and shadowy memories in her wake. But the most chilling part of the legend is the one that remains unanswered. Who is she, really? Is she a spirit, doomed to dance for eternity? Or is she something else entirely? A manifestation of something darker, something tied to the land itself? No one knows for sure, and that uncertainty only adds to the mystery. Over the years, many have tried to seek her out, to witness the dance for themselves. Some go with skepticism, but they return either with empty hands or a tale so haunting that no one believes it. Still, the stories persist, passed down from one generation to the next. In the hills and forests of Serbia, the dance lady is never far from the minds of those who live there. And while the rest of the world may never know the truth, there are those who believe she is more than just a legend. She's a part of the land, an unshakable presence that dances under the moonlight, always watching, always waiting. The Serbian dance lady, with her eerie presence and otherworldly grace, continues to haunt the wild places of Serbia, leaving behind an undeniable sense of both wonder and dread. To see her dance is to glimpse something beyond the ordinary, a glimpse into the supernatural, into something that cannot be fully understood. And for those few brave souls who have dared to approach, the haunting question remains: what is it about her dance that draws people in? And what happens to those who can never escape its pull? Folklore can unsettle us, but sometimes reality proves far darker than any legend. In a quiet Kenyan village, a tragedy unfolded that would leave scars far deeper than whispers of ghosts. In the peaceful, scenic landscape of Gatharu village in Muranga County, life has always moved at a slow, gentle pace. The rhythm of the community revolved around family, nature, and the everyday bustle of farming. Children played under the watchful eyes of their mothers, and the worries of the world seemed distant. But one tragic evening, the peaceful serenity of Gatharu village was shattered, forever altering the lives of those who called it home.
Now, residents of Gatharu village in Muranga County are yet to come to terms with a bizarre incident where a mother of 7 was brutally murdered and 2 of her children left nursing serious injuries.
It started quietly, almost imperceptibly, but by nightfall, everything changed. In the home of a 43-year-old mother of 7, a woman known and loved by all, a terror so violent struck that it left the entire village in shock. This mother, the heart of her family, was slashed repeatedly on the head by an unknown assailant, her life stolen in the very place where her children should have felt safest. The brutality of the attack left the village stunned and grieving, struggling to understand what had happened. 2 of her young children, aged 8 and 2, were also viciously attacked. Both were left with deep cuts, their small bodies marked by violence. Their innocence was shattered in a way no child should ever experience. The brutality of it all was beyond comprehension, and the village was left grappling with the horrific violence that had unfolded.
The 43-year-old woman later succumbed to her injuries in the same hospital where her children are now writhing in pain.
Questions swirled. Who could commit such an atrocious act? Was it random, or was there something darker behind the tragedy? The mystery hung in the air, unanswered, as the community tried to process the devastation. Then, in an almost surreal twist, things took a turn even darker. Footage began circulating online, sparking further shock. The video showed the murderer's fate, dragged through the streets by an angry mob. The assailant was buried alive in a shallow grave.
Kufa!
The footage, grim and chilling, raised more questions than answers. Was the person in the video truly the killer? Why had the mob taken such drastic, brutal action? No one knew for sure. But the incident added a further layer of mystery and grief to the tragedy. What followed was a community gripped by fear and confusion. The violence that took a mother's life and scarred her children forever was now compounded by the brutal revenge captured on camera. Gatheroo Village, a place once defined by security and serenity, would never be the same. The tragedy of that night and the darkness that followed would linger in the collective memory of the villagers for years to come. The story of this mother, her children, and the shadowy events that followed serves as a stark reminder that in the most peaceful places, darkness can sometimes creep in, leaving scars that no one can erase. While one village mourned a brutal loss, thousands of miles away, an entire nation continued to live under the shadow of war. In the heart of Syria, even the simplest moments of childhood are never safe. A playground, a place meant for laughter, for innocence, for a chance to forget the world outside, became a target in an instant. Children run, their voices once filled with joy, now replaced with cries of panic as the sky above them erupts with the sound of bombs. The ground shakes, the air fills with dust, and within seconds, everything has changed. What was once a place of games and friendship is transformed into chaos and fear. This is the reality of war. It does not wait. It steals the peace from families, tears apart communities, and leaves scars that will never fully heal. For these children, shelter is no longer a home. It is a desperate scramble for survival. The innocence of their youth is overshadowed by the knowledge that at any moment, safety can be ripped away. War in Syria has destroyed schools, hospitals, homes, places where life should be nurtured, not shattered. And it is not the soldiers or the politicians who pay the highest price, but the families, the mothers, the fathers, the children who never asked for this fight. Every bomb that falls is a reminder of just how fragile life becomes when war turns entire cities into battlegrounds. As the dust settles and the echoes fade, the silence that follows feels heavier than the blast itself, because it carries the weight of loss, of trauma, of a future stolen too soon. War does not only destroy buildings, it destroys memories, it destroys hope. And for the children who ran for their lives on that playground, it has forever changed what it means to feel safe. From the horrors of war to the risks we choose ourselves, danger wears many faces. And for one young man in Minnesota, the pursuit of a world record nearly cost him his life. Death diving, a discipline born in Norway, is not just about the fall, it's about the precision. Leaping from the edge, the diver must stretch into a horizontal pike midair, holding the body flat against the rushing wind until the very last second. Then, just before impact, they curl to break the water's surface. It is a sport where timing is everything, and the margin for error is razor thin. And on June 11, 2025, the cliffs of Minnehaha Falls in Minnesota became the stage for one of the most dangerous stunts ever attempted. At just 21 years old, Australian thrill-seeker Valley Graham set out to push the limits of the human body and defy gravity itself. His goal, a death dive from 42.5 meters, higher than any attempt officially recorded before.
Ready! 3, 2, 1, send it!
Valley's leap was flawless at first, his body cutting through the air in perfect form. But when he hit the water, the sheer force of the fall proved overwhelming.
Ready! 3, 2, 1, send it!
In an instant, he was unconscious, his body broken by the impact. The safety team rushed in, pulling him from the river's grip. But against all odds, Valley was alive. His injuries were staggering: a fractured vertebra, a broken sternum, a skull fracture, a burst eardrum, and a severe concussion. Injuries that could have easily ended his life. And yet, just days later, he was walking. To some, it was nothing short of a miracle. Valley himself would later say, "God saved me." His words sparked debate. Was it faith that spared him, or the swift work of doctors and rescuers who fought to keep him alive? Perhaps it was both. Though his dive exceeded the current official record of 41.7 meters, it will never be recognized. The imperfect landing and the catastrophic injuries meant his name would not replace that of Lasse Schaller, the Norwegian legend of the sport. Instead, Valley's attempt stands as both an inspiration and a warning, a reminder of how fine the line is between glory and tragedy in the pursuit of extreme feats. Valley Graham has said he will not attempt the record again, but his story has already become part of death diving's history, a testament to human courage, human fragility, and the price that sometimes comes with chasing the impossible. Some dangers come from the sky, others from the depths of rivers. But sometimes, the most unsettling threat of all is far closer to home, lurking just beyond your own window. There's a quiet in the night that feels ordinary at first. The hum of streetlights, the rustle of trees in the breeze, the distant barking of a dog. It all seems normal. But what if that stillness is only a disguise? What if someone is watching you, not from the shadows of the forest, but from the windows across the street? It starts with a feeling, a flicker of movement at the corner of your eye, a shadow that doesn't belong, a reflection that shouldn't be there. You shake it off. It's nothing. But deep down, a whisper of unease begins to grow. You've been alone in your house, doors locked, lights dimmed, yet the sensation of being observed lingers, like a chill that refuses to fade. And that's exactly what this next girl was experiencing. That neighbor's gaze pressing against your windows at night, unnoticed, patient, waiting. Every small sound you make, a creak in the floorboards, the rustle of paper, the hum of your fridge, is cataloged. We can only imagine how uncomfortable and terrifying that must be, knowing someone is watching you in the exact place where you're supposed to feel safe. Your own room, your own home, the space where you let your guard down, suddenly feels exposed. But this wasn't the only clip the girl shared. In another video she posted, the discomfort became even more clear. This time, it wasn't just footsteps or scraping noises. It was a voice. Low, deliberate, and far too close. And even when the voice faded, smaller sounds followed. Subtle movements in the dark that made it clear she wasn't imagining things. The night was no longer silent. It was alive, whispering back at her. Strange noises echoed outside her walls, faint but deliberate, as if meant to remind her she was never truly alone. Each sound chipped away at her sense of safety, turning ordinary nights into sleepless vigils. And those same neighbors weren't only peeking inside her house or making strange sounds.
Going for a walk and I look up and I see my neighbors. The hell?
On more than one occasion, she noticed unsettling things happening at their own home as well. Lights flickering on and off in the middle of the night, shadows moving behind curtains long after the rest of the street had gone quiet. Sometimes doors seemed to open and close without reason, small disturbances that made their house feel just as unnerving as the way they watched hers. It all painted the picture of something far more disturbing, behavior that didn't stop at spying, but carried over into a pattern of strange, unexplained activity that never seemed to end. And the worst part? She didn't know what they wanted. Was it just curiosity, some strange obsession, or something much darker? The walls of your home should feel like protection, but instead, they echoed with unease. It's the kind of fear that follows you to bed, where every flicker of a streetlight, every whisper of wind, feels like a presence moving just out of sight. But she wasn't the only one. Across the internet, more and more people have shared their own clips showing eerily similar experiences. Strange voices outside their windows, neighbors lingering too long in the dark, unexplained flickers of light or shadows moving where no one should be.
What is it?
Someone just told me!
What are you talking about?
From one home to another, the same fear echoes through the glass.
Okay. It's not currently.
Of course, there's always the chance that some of these videos are staged. With how easy it is to edit, to add sound effects, or to set up a scene, it wouldn't be the first time the internet has seen someone fake a creepy encounter for attention. Viral content thrives on shock value, and the stranger the clip, the more likely it is to spread. But at the same time, can every single video really be dismissed so easily? The unsettling part is how many people, completely unrelated, living in different parts of the world, report the same chilling experiences. Voices in the dead of night, footsteps where there should be none, the prickling sense of being watched from just beyond the curtains. These stories keep repeating across countless homes and countless neighborhoods. And when so many different people share the same fear, it becomes harder to write it off as nothing more than coincidence or clever editing. That's what makes it so disturbing. The line between reality and fabrication is blurred to the point where no one can say for certain which side is true. Some will argue it's all fake, while others are convinced it's proof of something deeply unsettling lurking much closer than we'd like to believe. In the end, whether these clips are elaborate hoaxes or glimpses into something real is a question without a clear answer. And ultimately, that's for you to decide. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.